So I'm trying to actually remember some of the gruesome, awful things I saw while I was homeless or as a child or things like that. And another one came to mind, and I was in Lawrence, and this white guy used to be drunk all the time. He did a lot of stupid things. He even came in Dunkin' Donuts once and harassed a nice lady. It was awful, but luckily some landscaper guys escorted him out, called the police, all that good stuff. But anyways, one day he was all angry, come by me saying, well, not by me saying to me. He was just walking down the street screaming in the air like a psychopath. I'm fucking this guy up. I'm messing him up. I'm gonna get that Spanish, you know what prick, and calling him all these racist names and just I didn't even know who the hell he was talking about. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm gonna go try to get a bite to eat. I'm gonna go do McDonald's over here. So I go grab Cynthia, somebody I know who's just a girl in town, and I grabbed Nick, and Nick is like, okay, well, you guys go. I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to come? No, no, no. So we walked to McDonald's trying to get a bite to eat. And on the way down, we were like, wait a minute, we want to go see if we can get a couple more bucks at Smoke Valley. Any labor, anybody, wants me to go in K2 because they're too stupid to ask, even though it's legal and sold right there on the other side of the road. Nobody seems to know that. People come up off the bus, the lobe. Where is it? It's right there, asshole. It's right in front of you. Well, that's all right. I'll charge you double and get it for you. It was terrible. The stuff was legal and sold right in front of them, and they didn't know that to walk in. And plus, sometimes they wouldn't sell to these random strangers, and they knew me very well. They've known me for years, so even before I ended up moving to Lawrence. But anyway, so we're just about to take a left, but then we all of a sudden we hear commotion. The white guy comes out bleeding all over his head, body. His eye is hanging down to his chin. His eyeball is hanging down to his chin, and his whole body is like cut up like the cement, like he rolled down on the cement. And he's still conscious, talking to people, asking for help, and everybody's laughing at him and walking away from him. That's how much of an asshole this guy is. So he's walking down the street, walking down the street. He gets to us. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? He goes, oh, that Spanish prick did this to me. And the two people I'm with said, oh, well, that will happen when you try to fight him. He's no joke, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, yeah, well, I'll get him next time. I'll get him next time. His eye hanging to his chin, blood all over him. I mean, it looked like his wrist was like broken or his finger was broken too. It was just a terrible fucking situation to look at. So he walks away, and at this point, I'm like, is there anybody got a phone? They're like, no. Luckily, a cop pulled them over about maybe no, probably 100 feet or so from us. I mean, as we were turning, we saw the cops pull over, get out, and start talking to him. By then, you know that he's getting an ambulance or something. Not with a no cop is looking at an eyeball hanging from the chin in that situation, and not just being like, "You got to sit down." And he was sitting down on the curb. I'm guessing once we sat down, he lost consciousness. I don't know. But there's another version of the gruesome stuff I had to see, and that doesn't even top it yet. I don't like reliving these frickin' things. I don't, but they are part of the books, and descriptions are key. Like for instance, the fact that this was a cul-de-sac, and there was not a cul-de-sac, sorry, a strip, and at the end there was a little restaurant place. That's a good information that this is a strip. It has a bakery, a smoke shop, and at the end, like a fast food restaurant across from another meat market. It's a very, very iconic type of scenery with yellow Spanish signs. It reminds you of like type of Spanish type scenery. Actually, when I was visiting Venezuela as a child, it was similar to that type of scenery. Really, it was very close to that. Even though I guess it's supposed to be close to Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic type style, but I guess I just can't tell the difference Spanish from Spanish. I guess that Spanish style bodegas, how they have the sign in Spanish, some of the type of Spanish foods in the windows, and the way they talk and act, and all of it just seems very similar to me. It's very important to have those details. As well as you got to remember, that's the same spot where I actually used to work sometimes, underload boxes, do favors for them for food. They would have me go in the back and get work done. I mean, but hey, they fed me, they would give me stuff, and they would always trust me. They knew I was honest. I would give them an honest day's work for honest food, honest stuff from the store. And I never abused the privilege, never. I took actually less. One of his wives used to say, "Why don't you take more? Why don't you take more food? Why you don't take enough? You don't take enough. You don't take enough. Take more. Take more. Take more." She was funny. Um, but yeah, so you gotta. It's a very iconic Spanish area. Now, La Vecina didn't have that relationship with me, but they were way better. They were um, more food and produce. If I could have built some relationship with a place that has way more produce, way more food, I would have got fed so much better. But nobody really would hire or help a white guy in that town. It's all Spanish speaking, and most of the haircutting places were a front for crime. If you walk into a barber shop, you could buy Xboxes, PlayStations. They would have stacks of all of this stuff. You could sell it or buy all stolen goods. I mean, I would just ask to buy something like that, and they would show it. And I once found a watch. I literally did find a watch on the ground. Everybody said they're gonna think it's stolen. I said, yeah, you're right. Everybody's gonna think this watch is stolen from Lawrence on the ground. I said, oh, well, let's try to turn it in. So we tried to turn it in a couple places, and then the officers were like, yeah, it's yours. Fucking don't even bother with that. It's yours. This is a cheap piece of crap. Maybe $160. I'm like, $160? He laughed and then went on his way. So we brought it there and we got 20 bucks for it. We did. Now, other people sold way, I guess, different types of stuff that they shouldn't have there. But I was way past that. I did steal jewelry before that wasn't mine, and it felt awful. And I didn't try to hide it. I left it in the wide open. I kind of didn't try to even cover it up. I was kind of wanting to get caught. I don't, not a big on that type of stuff. I don't know how people can do it over and over and over and feel nothing, or how they can do the same thing back. There's a lot of this vindictive behavior. Two wrongs make a right. I mean, I see it all the time. It's just not always available. I mean, if it's not hurtful and if it's done in the right way, great. But if it's a hurtful, or you're stealing from somebody, or you're not, you're taking somebody's property or their health, that's not right. Beating somebody because they beat you isn't right. Stealing their property isn't right. Stealing their medication isn't right. None of those things.